Okay, what's this? New universe listings at Walmart. Starscream? In universe? But they already did the classics one. Unless... Didn't they just announce a new hotshot? What if this is the counterpoint? What if Armada Starscream's getting a new toy? Oh man, that would be so disappointing. It's just a repaint. Oh well. If they did hotshot, Starscream can't be far behind, right? You better be worth 6 years of false hopes. So yeah, as the guy who seems to hate everything that came out of Armada, I'm sure people are wondering what I think of this latest throwback to the series. Truth be told, I don't hate everything from the toy line, and I actually like the new hotshot they did, in spite of its excessive transformation and some kibble issues. But Starscream is the one element I stick up for. I like the design and the character in the show. The toy was just poorly engineered. He deserved better, and now he got better. Maybe. Let's actually review it. The jet mode is probably best described as futuristic, from a time when we no longer need vertical stabilizers on our booster engine-equipped jets. While it's definitely the Armada design, there's a lot changed here with much sleeker shapes and more angles. 2 points in particular. The first are the arms, which aren't hanging down uselessly as 2 gray blocks with no obvious purpose. The second is the profile itself. The original Armada Starscream was a very bulky jet that didn't look aerodynamic in the least, with a very thin cockpit area. The new version thins one out and bulks out the other, resulting in a much more solid-looking vehicle without just being a block with wings and a nose cone. Though for some reason he has this weird curve to him which I can't seem to correct. It is oddly similar to what the old toy did, but I feel this one is less intentional, more like a peg that won't go in all the way. I'll save deco talk for robot mode, and instead focus on gimmick. Rather than huge flip-over cannons like the original, this one opts for a more direct approach, while still keeping the look of the huge flip-over cannons. I take so much issue with these things. I get the idea, but it results in one of the most unnecessarily huge trigger mechanisms ever. Pushing these in pushes out the yellow sections of the booster, then fires the pressure-launched missiles. Credit where credit's due, they do fire really far. The mechanism's not very secure though. Every time you move this toy, it's going to rattle, and the yellow piece is easy to pop out when you're not paying attention, which is annoying. I don't have any objection to including launchers here, that is the original gimmick. I just never liked the overly long cannons on the design. At least this way the boosters don't have huge trenches through them to make room for the guns. Transforming Starscream is similar to the original, but there's new tricks here and there, like the tail fins collapsing in to clean up the legs, and a panel designed to hide the face on the underside of the jet mode. There's one part of confusion in particular we're going to discuss, but overall it's a nice and efficient transformation. Right off the bat, you can tell some love went into robot mode. Proportionally, Starscream is spot on, bulky and sleek in just the right spots, and clearly taking some cues from the series. Well, a better drawn episode of the series at least. The deco choice is properly Armada, no blue normally associated with Starscream, but red, black, and gray, with some yellow for highlights. It's a really nice color combination, though it's lacking a lot of the original design's color patterns, especially the gray on the legs and the black on the chest. It's not bad, but the torso is pretty dominant red, with little to properly break it up. The sculpt is great though. The details are crisp and a lot of the signature elements are here, like the pistons in his biceps and 4 Minicon ports. Oh hey, luckily he's in the same wave as some new Minicons. Fortunate. The head in particular is very nice. Even looking similar to the G1 head, there's no mistaking who this is. Though I take points off for the back of the head being translucent orange. It allows some good light piping, but you can see the stress mark on mine already, and this is with light play. I worry he'll be headless someday as the plastic ages and becomes more brittle. For now though, the head's there, and it has enough range to get some expression out of him. What really adds to poses are the wings, which are on ball joints, letting them angle back as well as a little up and down, giving you a lot of personality and posing options. The rest of the articulation goes as such. The shoulder hinges outward and rotates forward, the biceps swivel, and the elbows bend 90 degrees. Hips are ball jointed, there's a thigh swivel, lots of range in the knees, and back and forward ankle tilts, which is good all around. Then there's that backpack of his. On the original toy, this was such a headache. I had to stuff him in the back corner of a bookshelf to display him because nothing can go behind him. Thanks to the long launchers, this toy has the same issue, but they were smart enough to let the thrusters hinge back, giving a more traditional look of the intakes pointing up, which is how Starscream looks for about 8 issues of Dark Cybertron. Though where the artist got those blocky shapes and round head from, I don't know. For people displaying the toy in a shelf like me, this is great, but it really hurts the look of the toy. I mean, those intakes are the signature part of the design. Removing them this way solves one problem and creates another. This is why the launching system bugs me. Without that, there'd be no need for this, or at least make it so just the back kibble folds away. Still, like I said, it solves an old problem from the first toy. But that's my gripe. The one most people have are the swords. Stored on the back of the wings are 2 folded up translucent orange swords. Just unfold and plug into the hands. They don't look bad, and I'm glad that the swordsman nature of this Starscream is represented. But I know most are upset that they aren't formed from his wings, because the wing sword is the signature feature of the original. Well, here's a little secret about the wing sword. The wing sword kinda sucked. It made the toy look broken, and the sword looked like a piece of scrap metal Screamer bludgeoned people with. Besides, the wings fold down completely on this toy, another shelf-friendly option, so if it bugs you, fold one down and only use one sword. Works for me. If I'm going to get upset over the accessory choice, it's that the toy didn't come with a show-accurate Star Saber that him or Hotshot could use. As it is, the show usually depicted the weapon as a glowing red energy blade, so I find this closer to that depiction, so that is fine with me. Just don't fold them up all the way to store. The wings are molded to fit them that way, but you'll stress mark the sockets instantly when attempting. Translucent plastic. Again. One last note. While the engineering overall on this toy is good, it feels like the nose cone and spine piece that come together in transformation should peg closed, and it looks like they can, with one matching the area of the other, but they don't connect. It's a minor thing, but worth pointing out because it can throw some off. Overall, I have some nitpicks, but I really do like this figure. It really is the toy the character had deserved for a long time now. And even if it is 6 years late, he makes a great companion piece to Hotshot, though a tad bit small when you put them side by side. I mean, looking back at the show, though, it's not that far off, so it still works. Just one final question. Where's Swindle? I mean, Hotshot gets his mini-con, Scoop gets both Target Masters, and I can't get a Swindle that actually moves its arms forward? Ah well. If they did Starscream, an update for his mini-con can't be far behind, right?